Who do you think is going to be the first one to say no more DCOMs? Is it going to be Justin or Elijah?
Oh, you got your fancy shirt on.
Yeah, it's just a loud one. I don't know if it's fancy.
It's loud.
It's for the lack of lighting in here. I thought, I need to stick out.
Hello, Justin.
Hello, Elijah.
Welcome to another episode of History of Popcorn.
Woohoo!
It's been a jam-packed week, actually. It's not.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about. This episode probably could have been like 3 hours, but we narrowed it down to a specific kind of concept. I want to talk about what Martin Scorsese said about streaming.
Yeah, I don't know what he said. I just saw he posted down here.
He wrote this essay about Federico Fellini, who is this old filmmaker.
Yeah.
I would recommend looking him up if you're at all interested in film. That's a good place.
He did like 9.5 and stuff, right?
8.5, yeah.
Or 8.5, yeah.
There's a soundstage named after him at the Los Angeles Film School. He just writes about Martin Scorsese writes about this filmmaker, and and it's called The Lost Magic of Cinema. And I'm just going to start what he says in the beginning. He says, the art of cinema is being systematically devalued, sidelined, and demeaned, and reduced to its low common denominator as content. It was linked, of course, to not the theatrical experience, but to home viewing on the streaming platforms that have to overtake the movie-going experience, just as Amazon overtook physical stores. If further viewing is suggested by algorithms based on what you've already seen, and the suggestions are based only on subject matter or genre, then what does that mean for the art of cinema? That's how he starts it before he goes in to write about the originality of Federico Fellini.
Well, it's kind of like the same thing that he said about Marvel films being amusement park rides, which I totally agreed with. I don't know why people were getting so gung-ho about it when it's like he's making good points. He's not like Steven Spielberg, who's like just sounds like an old fuck that's just like, oh, I can't believe my movies aren't making money, but Netflix is making. Like, he's not saying that. Like, he's clearly saying that, like, calling your I guess I'm just calling your movies and your TV shows content is just strange. It sounds like something for YouTube. Like that's what originated was on YouTube. Like, this is my content right here. These are my videos. I react to things or blah, blah, blah. I review movies. But to have that be like Netflix saying, like, look at all of our content. It's like, yeah, but it's like you have prestigious movies like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It's so weird to put like a movie like that in the same like label as content. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, he kind of says something similar to exactly what you're saying about, because he's like compares like filmmaking and cat videos and Super Bowls commercials all in one sentence. And it's like, yeah, he says that exact thing of it kind of gets watered down or even like just looked past because there's so much content out now.
Yeah.
He's not really attacking like movies. I feel like he's attacking streaming services in the way of algorithms. Like, they have to find a better way to make things stand out and like have those voices be heard. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's very.
Oh, I'm sure it's stressful. I'm sure it's stressful for someone, especially like him, who's just been in the business for so long, and he's had to deal with. Oh my God, he's been working since like the fucking 50s. So it's like, I can't imagine what this looks like to him. But I'm sure, like, it sounds like, even from the quote, like he sounds like he's frustrated, but I'm sure he doesn't even really care, because he's had not a perfect career, but a damn near perfect career. And like, he's gone through so many ups and downs. I'm sure like this isn't really affecting him too much, but I'm sure like he's just looking out for people like us, like, that want to be filmmakers in the future. And he's probably like, damn, this is going to be actually really, really fucking tough but I mean, like, I think it's in the middle. I'm always in the middle of it, because I think it's going to be tough, but I also do think that it's easier than what they had to go through. Yeah. Like you and I can post an entire movie on YouTube, and it's like that could get hits,
What Martin Scorsese ends up going into saying is like the stories that you have to be telling and the way you're telling it still has to be outgoing and stand out. Like, you can't think of it in the streaming service. And that's what the whole article is basically about, which is he's kind of telling people it's tough. Like go to the origins of film and like reevaluate how movies are made again. Because the whole article isn't about streaming or an attack on it. It's about just Fellini and his artwork and his connection with that.
Right.
That's just how he starts it, and the way he ends it is pretty good. He says everything has changed. The cinema and the importance it holds in our culture. Of course, it's hardly surprising that artists such as Goddard, Bergman, Kubrick, and Fellini, who once reigned over a great art form like gods, would eventually recede into the shadows with the passing of time. But at this point, we can't take anything for granted. We can't depend on the movie business such as it is to take care of cinema. Those of us who know the cinema and its history have to share our love and our knowledge with as many people as possible. It's just cool. I think that's beautiful. I mean, he's like, I'm not angry. I want the people who are like Fellini back in the day, and Kubrick and all them. I want them to know that they're still there's you can still do that. And I think that's what he's trying to get at from this whole article. Because I would recommend reading it. I'll have probably the article attached.
Who did that article?
Martin Scorsese.
But I mean, like
he wrote it for Harper's Magazine.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Did you see that new show that he did?
I saw the first episode, Pretend It's a City on Netflix.
Yeah, dude.
I saw the first episode. It's really, I think it's, if you want to see Martin Scorsese laugh at everything.
Yeah, literally. Quite literally laugh at everything. And for him to, his eyes sink into his head so many times. I've never seen a man with so many bags under his eyes. It's like, I just want Martin Scorsese to take a nap.
Take a nap.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, speaking of all those of streaming, as Martin Scorsese was saying, we're getting a brand new kind of streaming service.
Dude, yeah, no, this is a perfect segue to completely back up what he's saying.
Yeah, it's so like ridiculous. This is gonna be pretty insane. This came out of nowhere, like out of nowhere, Paramount Plus just starts trending. They had a Super Bowl commercial, of course, which is like, okay, that's pretty wild. But then again, like no one really had a Super Bowl commercial. But, essentially, Paramount Plus is going to be a new streaming service, but it's originally the CBS All Access.
I was just gonna say it's actually CBS All Access,
just rebranded. Yeah, it's rebranded with some other channels that integrated into it to make a bigger one. And there's a lot of wild stuff coming out of Paramount Plus, and some more theater news, like theatrical releases going on this service too, somewhat.
I thought it was so weird because I was like, I think CBS All Access was, I mean, I thought that was all Paramount. Yeah. And I was like, well, maybe they're trying to too, just to really get people to, because I know CBS All Access is not doing good.
Because I mean, HBO had HBO and HBO Go or whatever. They had two at the same time too, like that sort of deal.
Yeah, and I kind of felt the same way when HBO was doing their thing, but I feel like that they have more of a backbone, you know, or more of a leg to stand on, I should say, than Paramount Plus, because all of their content, literally every single thing that they're doing. I actually looked up. What's the opposite of excited? Indifferent or depressed, of course, but also boring, dull, unexciting, unmoving, unstimulating, moderate, unenthusiastic. And I was like, that's exactly how I feel about every single thing that they're releasing for Paramount Plus. Like, there's not one thing I'm like, okay, I'll get it for that. Like every single thing. And have you seen the previews for like the stuff the reboot, like SpongeBob and Rugrats?
I've seen the Rugrats footage.
Ooh.
I don't want to get into all that. Let's start to I'll tell. Okay, this is what's coming out on Paramount Plus. Originally, there's also all those other like integration of what was already on CBS All Access, but they're coming out with original projects like the Halo television show from the games, the Frasier revival, a new Reno 911 series, movies from the Workaholics guys. They don't know if it's the Workaholic movie adaptations or just from those guys, but a new Beavis and Butthead, new computer-generated animated Rugrats with the original cast. We're getting a whole new Avatar series section because they have a whole production under that. The Last Airbender with the original creators of that.
Not James Cameron.
The Last Airbender. And they're making the iCarly reboot, a live-action Dora the Explorer, and live-action Fairly Odd Parents. They're coming out with more MTV's Behind the Music, an Unplugged, and a real-world reunion from the very, very first season 20 years ago. And that airs like this week or something. And they're doing this thing with their with the streaming service where their films, Paramount films, will come out 45 days after their theater releases. And some of those movies include Top Gun 2, Quiet Place 2, and the new Mission Impossible, and the new Paranormal Activity we were talking about is going on that too.
Yeah, no, I figured. Yeah, no, it is, and they're also doing The Offer, which is the Godfather prequel series.
Oh yeah,
yeah, heard of that?
Yeah.
And a Frasier reboot. I think you already said that. Flashdance TV show.
Oh wow.
It's like what you and I were talking about with Disney, where it's like just reboot everything. That's how we're gonna
copying Disney. Everyone's copying Disney, right?
Everyone's got to be Disney. Everyone's got to compete, I guess. But that's why I think HBO Max has a leg to stand on compared to the other streaming services right now, like that and like Netflix, of course. But HBO Max, with like what they had to do with their content or with their movies, shit. At least they're all original. Besides, Godzilla versus Kong, the rest of them are pretty raw, I guess. Besides Space Jam 2 and Mortal Kombat, and never mind, we're all just fucked. I don't know. I guess I'm just more excited about those movies. Like all of this, like when I saw the preview for SpongeBob, Coral Years, and Rugrats reboot at the same time, and they both just really just, I was like, whoa, this looks terrible. It looks like a video game. Mm-hmm. It doesn't it's not visually pleasing at all.
That's how I felt about when I saw the Rugrats one. I felt like I was dreaming. I'm like, this is weird.
Especially like the close-ups that they did of Chucky. It's like, what the fuck are they thinking?
It's really weird. I don't know what they're thinking. Yeah. It's not groundbreaking technology. It's like they could barely afford to do it.
Do you remember those Flash video games that we would play as kids?
Yeah.
Like for like Blue's Clues and Rugrats?
Yeah, you can only do like 6 things, but you would want to do that over and over and over.
Yeah. That's literally what it looked like. I thought it was a joke at first. Like, oh, is this like, are they like trying to like give the nostalgia to like people like me and Elijah who played those games? But then I looked at it and I was like, no, this is supposed to be legit. And this just looks really bad.
Yeah, and they went all out by getting the original voice cast too and everything. It's like,
yeah, which is awesome. Like the voice cast is still there, but it's like, damn, dude, like already, like, why are you rebooting? Like, that's just weird right there. And another thing is just like, why not? I know that doing traditional animation now is a lot more expensive and more timely.
It looks like it was done by an AI.
Yeah.
Because that's where technology is now.
It probably was, honestly. Like because especially like some of the shots, it's like it's hideous.
It's like they gave this AI every episode of Rugrats, and they're like, write more episodes. We could say so much about Paramount Plus because there's a lot coming out with that.
Yeah.
Like they're bringing back The Real World. That's ridiculous. 20 years later, same cast. That's okay. Anyway, this next one is still not original content really, but it's kind of a sequel actually. This one is a pretty short story, but everybody loves. This story involves a good old Josh Peck. We like Josh Peck, don't we?
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Oh yeah. I like old Josh Peck. I don't like his YouTuber ways though. I don't like him being with David Dobrik. I think he's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I think he's kind of going away from that because he had a kid and he's like, I gotta go back to.
Yeah, I gotta stay away from these toxic ass white boys.
Yeah, he's got to go back to his roots of acting with. He was on Disney, right? No, he was on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, he was on Nickelodeon.
So this is a Disney Plus project. It's the Turner and Hooch. They say reboot, but it's kind of a sequel.
Yeah, he's supposed to be Tom Hanks's son, which I hate that reboot trope so much.
I didn't know they were going to go that route. It's this official synopsis is when an ambitious, buttoned-up U.S. Marshal inherits a big, unruly dog, he soon realizes the dog he didn't want may be the partner he needs. Turner and Hooch. It stars Josh Peck as Scott Turner, the son of Detective Scott Turner, Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
They have the same name?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, but it's also just weird. Like, if we're going with that logic, that means that his son went through the same exact thing that his dad did, beat by beat. Besides, I don't think Tom Hanks was a
U.S. Marshal.
I don't think he was in the army or anything. Yeah, he was just a cap.
But this is a television series, so
yeah,
or Disney Plus series.
Which honestly, like, this could go either way because I do think Josh Peck deserves something more than what he's been given. Have you ever seen? There's a movie that he did called The Whackness.
That's a good one.
Oh, it's fantastic, and I was surprised after that he didn't get more acting roles because I thought he was great in that. But I was curious about this and actually didn't mind it until they said like, yeah, like that he's the son of Tom Hanks. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, does that mean Tom Hanks is going to be in it? Like the only way I feel like the odds of this happening, I feel like it's just going to be like Tom Hanks in the first episode would be like,
yeah,
this taught me something. This is going to teach you something. Here's a dog or something.
Yeah, I bet that's how they're going to do it. I bet Tom Hanks is like, you need a hooch in your life.
Yeah, like Josh Peck is going to be some single
dude. What if Tom Hanks does? My hooch just died, but this is Hooch Jr.
Oh yeah, his name has to be Hooch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're like, yep.
It has to be. It's called Turner and Hooch. It's not called Turner and another dog.
Turner and Beethoven, the crossover.
Yeah, it's pretty odd. I don't know why they decided to go that route. Just if you're gonna reboot something, just fucking reboot it. Who's creating it?
That's a good question. The person who made Burn Notice. So all dads be excited. We're driving away from remakes except for one. Actually, I'll go into the remake one right now, so we get the remakes over with. But this one's interesting though, because
this one I'm excited for.
Yeah, there's a very good name attached to this one,
mm-hmm.
and that's Edgar Wright. So I just want to get that name out there because that'll perk ears up, and I think people would be like, okay, remake by Edgar Wright could be interesting.
Yes.
For those who don't know, that he made Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz,
World's End, Baby Driver, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Some very creative movies.
Yep. The TV show Spaced, which is really, really good.
Simon Pegg collaborator. He's making a new Stephen King adaptation, The Running Man, from Arnold Schwarzenegger's 80s film.
Yeah, which I'm excited for this because I think I don't remember The Running Man, the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, too much, but I remember it being more action than horror. Oh yeah. And I know that the original story was pretty damn scary, but I haven't seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger one in a bit.
I've only seen bits and pieces of it. I just remember like a form of transportation for them is like a weird bobsled type thing through tubes. But anyway, I found out that it's by Stephen King. It's a novel by Stephen King, but he didn't release it under Stephen King at first. He released it under a pseudonym, which
really?
He started to release it under Stephen King later on when they're like, oh, okay, that's Stephen King. So I think that's why it might be a little bit different than what his writing style is like.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I didn't know it was a Stephen King movie when Arnold Schwarzenegger did it. I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know either
recently, and so I looked into it. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And Edgar Wright's attached. Essentially, The Running Man takes place in the future, right?
Yeah,
in a dystopian future where the poor are seen more by the government as worrisome rodents than actual human beings, and our protagonist Ben Richards is quick to realize that when he watches his daughter grow sick day by day, closer to death, and desperate for money to pay for the bills, Ben enlists himself in the true reality style game show where the objective is to stay alive. The Running Man.
Yes, I actually want to rewatch that movie.
It's basically like a intense Hunger Games, rewarding for survival.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Yeah, specifically because of Edgar Wright. I think he's a really great director who has not done anything bad at all. Even though Baby Driver, I thought it was not his best work. It was still fucking great, and
he's coming out with a sequel to that, which was interesting.
Yeah, and he's coming out with a movie this year too, right? Last Night in Soho. Is that coming out this year?
It should be coming out around spring.
Yeah, and the curious thing about this is that Edgar Wright, his name is always attached to like certain remakes. Like he was originally supposed to do Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And then something always falls through. So hopefully this doesn't.
Yeah.
And he sticks with it. But that's a good thing about Edgar Wright, when he knows that like, oh, you're not gonna do it my way, then I'm gone. I'm not catering to your guys's. That's why I was so shocked when he was doing Ant-Man. I was like, how is that gonna work? And then once he left, I was like, that makes sense.
That's gonna go down in history as one of the most famous movies that never got made. I guarantee it. I'm gonna have to read this book now. I didn't know that it was Stephen King really, and now I'm gonna have to read it because Edgar Wright.
Is it a short story or is it a full novel?
I think it's a novel, full novel. He released it under Richard Bachman, which was the pseudonym, but now it's released under Stephen King. But I'm gonna have to look into it.
Oh, Richard Bachman.
All right, so those are all the remakes. All the rest of the movies that we have are original, but they're book adaptations, I believe. Some of them are.
Yeah.
There's Ryan Gosling's new movie coming out
Good on him.
called The Actor, which the interesting thing about this movie, well, the actor is about I believe it's about this actor who gets caught in the Midwest in like a small town who gets amnesia and has to remember who he is in this very, very, very small town. And it's like based on a book called Memory. The
Is that
thing
based
that
off of Majestic with Jim Carrey? Because that's literally the same thing, but he's a screenwriter, not an actor. I'm not.
That'd be interesting. I've never seen that actually, but
It's not that great of a movie, but that's the same thing. He gets trapped in a town and he has amnesia, but everyone thinks that he's this ex-war veteran.
this one's based on a novel. I don't know what the other one is.
Hmm.
But I got interested because this movie's director's name is Duke Johnson. Have you heard of him? He did a movie called Amelisa.
Yes.
He's only really done stop motion films. I think this is going to be his first live action film because he did a couple episodes, or he did an episode in a segment of Community, the TV show, but his episode is all stop motion. It's all clean.
Yeah.
So
and it's the best episode.
Yeah, it's the Abed Christmas episode.
Oh, man.
And it's like, I'm interested to see what this is going to be all about.
I bet Ryan Gosling I bet there is going to be some kind of stop motion craziness happening. Because his entire studio is pretty awesome and unique.
Oh yeah, maybe it won't even be live action. Maybe it will be like Ryan Gosling being a puppet.
That would be awesome.
Maybe after he gets amnesia, it's all like puppets to him, and he's like, "What's going on?"
Have you seen Anomalisa?
Yeah, that was
so
awesome.
good, so good.
That's Charlie Kaufman too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, the great and powerful. Ryan Gosling's like one of my favorite actors, and him collaborating with Duke Johnson, hell yeah, I'm 100% down for that.
Well, that should be really, really, really interesting.
Because Ryan Gosling hasn't really been in a movie in a little bit, right?
He's going to be the new Wolfman. They're doing a Wolfman movie where that's not really connected to any universe, I believe, but he's going to be a Wolfman.
Universal keeps trying with those.
Yeah,
they keep trying.
It worked okay with The Invisible Man, so they're like, let's go.
Well, yeah, it's because they made it into Fatal Attraction, which was awesome.
Yeah, and Leigh Whannell is an incredible filmmaker. He did Upgrade and the first Saw.
Yes,
the first one. And he's made good movies. I like Leigh Whannell. He's also
he's pretty great.
Insidious. He wrote the first Insidious.
Did you watch it? He did this movie called Cooties.
He did that? Yeah.
I don't think he directed it. I think he only wrote it.
He's like mainly a writer. He's one of my favorite writers, actually.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, same.
There's not much known about that except that, which makes me interested, like talking to you about it. And I'm like, oh yeah, maybe it is going to be stop motion or something. But that's something to look forward to. Ryan Gosling's The Actor. Do you like Kid Cudi?
I love Kid Cudi. Oh, I'm excited about this because I love Kid Cudi, love A24.
And they are coming together. He's also, Kid Cudi is also being one of the executive producers on this because he was so excited about it. I believe the movie is just called X right now. They just went to New Zealand like a couple weeks ago to go shoot it. They said this is going to be like a horror movie, I guess, from A24, and it's the director is very interesting. His name's Ty West. He's some really creepy horror films, so I think this is going to be a pretty dark one. He made like a segment from VHS called Second Honeymoon. He made The Innkeepers, The Second Cabin Fever, because he saw the first one and was like, I want to do something like that. And then he made The House of the Devil, and he's made some horror, directed some horror television. But his name's Ty West, so he seems like a newer voice that's coming out. But
West.
This
and Kid Cudi starring in it?
Yeah, he's starring in it with Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega from You.
Oh yeah.
I believe those are the only people attached right now.
Jenna Ortega was also in the terrible Babysitter sequel.
Oh yeah, yes, but she's also going to be in the new Scream. She's also.
That's right. She's also going to be in Yes Day, starring Jennifer Gardner.
On Netflix, coming soon.
No, I love Kid Cudi, man. No, he's one of no, I'm not the only person. The way that he talks about like depression, all that stuff in his music was just absolutely awesome. Pursuit of Happiness is still one of my all-time favorite go-to jams.
Yeah, he's definitely a Renaissance man.
And not to mention, Kid Cudi was in Bill and Ted Face the Music
as Kid Cudi.
He had some of the funniest. Yeah, But I just love that he was the one that knew about quantum physics, and like he's the one that Bill and Ted go to for answers about space.
He just explains it all for them. He's like, "What? I thought you guys okay."
I know, and I love how in the end he's trying to explain it, and Bill and Ted, they're like, "Dude, we don't care. We just want you to do it. We don't want you to explain all this stuff." Yeah, no, I love Kid Cudi, and I love A24, so that's a perfect combo right there. And I've seen Kid Cudi act before in plenty of movies.
And he definitely wants to take his acting seriously. You can kind of tell in the direction he's gone, because he was in a TV show called We Are Who We Are. It's Luca Guadagnino, I think his name is, who did a few films. What was that? Call Me by Your Name. He made an HBO television show, and Kid Cudi plays a dad, and it's a pretty good performance. He plays a dad in the military who lives on a military base, but he's not the main character. But it's a good.
He's only been in supporting roles.
Our next movie is David Fincher's new directorial movie, which is actually, I feel like, coming pretty quick after Mank. Because I feel like he usually takes a few years, but he's doing another one. I believe this is going to be a Netflix film. Yes, he's signed a deal with Netflix because he did Mindhunter, Mank, now this. It's a movie called The Killer, and it has Michael Fassbender attached. It's about an assassin. Oh, he's also reuniting with the screenwriter of Seven, Andrew Kevin.
Yeah. I knew, like, I wrote down, I was like, there's something about this movie that I remember I'm more excited about. And that's what it was.
I've never seen Seven.
You would love Seven.
I almost watched Seven last night, but I didn't. I ended up watching Amityville Horror last night instead. Or
with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. But I also started that morning with Tom and Jerry. So it's like I watched two Chloe Grace Moretz movies by accident. I was like, oh, hey,
man,
this is the end of her career, the start of her career.
Yeah.
I love Chloe Grace Moretz. I'm sorry, but I didn't like Tom and Jerry. Anyway, okay. So David Fincher's new movie.
Yeah, Michael Fassbender. Like, dude, I really like Michael Fassbender, and I like David Fincher when he's doing this kind of stuff. Like his creepy killer movies are always the best. Like Seven, Gone Girl, and his adaptations are always really good. Like Fight Club and Gone Girl.
This is an adaptation too. It's a graphic novel.
Oh, even better than
it's a graphic novel following a cold-blooded assassin who begins to have a psychological crisis in the world with no moral compass.
Oh yeah,
and it's Michael Fassbender as the assassin.
Dude, I'm so down for that. I am so down, because the best part about David Fincher with these kinds of movies is he's never the guy that's like grotesque where he shows too much of this. It's more of just like either explained or there's like one quick scene of it, and it really does scar you, but it's not like close-ups of it and like, you know, just trying like getting really in there to just freak you out. Like that's why Seven's so good, because you're only there for the aftermath of these brutal, horrible deaths.
Right.
And you hear what happened. It is pretty gross, but you never really see it. You just see what happened, and like you see them like trying to piece them together. There's only one scene towards the end that's like really good. It's iconic, but I won't tell you.
I'm gonna watch that probably this week. I mean, I would say David Fincher was my favorite director just because I just like the way all of his movies look. But I haven't seen all of his movies, like even his big ones. Like I have never seen Seven, but like Panic Room is one of my favorite movies. And it's like, I just love his visual style. So I usually go toward the David Fincher's visual when I say he's my favorite director. But I heard that David Fincher is like notoriously meticulous, and a lot of people say no just because he's so meticulous. Like they want to work with him, but he's incredibly intimidating.
He does like 500 takes.
Yeah, and I was watching this interview where all the other directors were it's for the Golden Globes consideration of Best Director, and they're all, whenever they mention David Fincher, they would like start off by saying, "Oh, first off, I'm afraid of David Fincher," and then they would go on to say something about him and stuff. And Aaron Sorkin's there, obviously, and you can just see him tiptoeing around David Fincher because apparently he's a really meticulous guy. He did a interview with Mark Maron, apparently, that's like a few hours long that he won't let Mark Maron release because he doesn't like the way it came out, and he is still trying to get the perfect outcome out of it or something. And it's like that is very intimidating as a fan.
It's so funny though that he's like that. But when they were doing the Golden Globes last night and they were doing Best Screenplay, and his face is there, and it goes to Aaron Sorkin, and you just see David Fincher pull out a shot glass and do and he just starts taking shots, and he's like just doing it the entire time. And it's just like, for a guy who's like so meticulous, he looks chill as fuck.
He's probably super nervous about that.
Well, yeah, that's what I think it came down to. I think that's what he said, is that he's just very nervous of not bringing out the best of the best, you know. And that's why his movies are like, even the movies I don't like of his, like I'm not a fan of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Oh yeah, I like the visuals, but I didn't really like it.
Yeah, dude, that opening credit sequence, I was like for Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I was like, dude, why hasn't David Fincher made a James Bond movie with Daniel Craig?
Interesting.
Because that could be fucking solid.
It would be slow.
It would be slow, but
because I don't
more interesting.
Have you seen a David Fincher? Oh, Fight Club. David Fincher fight scene. I was like, oh yeah, Fight Club.
Dude, yeah, Fight Club is like filled with energy, and like same thing with Gone Girl. Even though Gone Girl's pretty slow and it's really heavy, it's filled with so much energy. All those movies are.
The nuance of him too.
Yeah.
We studied his directing style in school, and the way he controls your eyes is just insane, David Fincher.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't elaborate on it, but I saw a video about that.
Yeah, if you look up David Fincher's directing style, a lot of people will point it out. It's incredible. Just watch a video that breaks down his directing. There's like a lot of them on YouTube. Like the top ones on YouTube are very good to watch.
Yeah, dude, Ben Affleck and him Ben Affleck interviewed him, and Ben Affleck was just talking about his experience on Gone Girl. This is why I love Ben Affleck, because he does not give a shit. Like, he already worked with the guy, so he's just like, I remember just flat out hating you. And in Zodiac, Jake Gyllenhaal, or no, it's not
Robert Downey
Jr. He notoriously pissed in a bottle because while they were filming, because he was like, you're not gonna let us go because we're gonna do 100 more takes. I'm gonna pee in this fucking bottle right now, and I'm gonna throw it at you. I think he said that he threw it at David Fincher. He was like, there you go. All right, let's do 100 more.
I don't know how I feel about it's intimidating. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
As a fan, I'm just intimidated more.
I would definitely not want to work with him on a movie set.
I don't know if I would. I feel like I would want to. I would want to stand next to him, but yeah,
I would want to be there for like a second. I would love to be an intern for a day there. But
I don't know if I could be an intern for him, but I'll be an intern for the intern or something.
Yeah,
they need some help. There's a lot of stress on that guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be David Fincher's intern. He's gonna make me do something 100 times. This is not the right coffee.
Stir it 100 more times. Those are all the news stories we have.
Well, you know what we should talk about really quick, the Golden Globes.
I watched a little bit of them. I mean, I actually still don't know who all the winners are.
The one huge surprise to me was that Borat subsequent movie film, Maria Bakalova, I always forgot.
Bakalova.
She did not win. Rosamund Pike won over her.
Oh, for
I Care a Lot.
I Care a Lot, which just came out on Netflix.
Which literally just came out like last week.
Borat won every other award. She was robbed.
Yeah, no, totally. But I thought, like what you and I said, like everybody I've talked to about the Borat sequel, she was the reason why to watch it. You know what I mean? Like the rest of it, like the movie itself, and Sacha Baron Cohen, he's great and everything, but that was
we
all
saw
like
Borat already.
Yeah, we've seen that. Like this girl was like she was the standout, and the fact that she did not get any love for it was kind of like it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like I remember the coworker I have, he's like, dude, it's just a movie. It's just a sequel to Borat. And I was like, I know.
She's coming out with more movies, though. She's got cast in a couple of films that will probably
well, I think she still has. I think she can still has a chance on winning the Oscar. I really do.
Maybe
I think she's definitely going to get nominated, and I think she still has a great chance. But that was the only like the Maria Bakalova is the one not winning, was the only like major like what the that's odd that you chose Rosamund Pike.
I'm glad Anya Taylor-Joy won. I just want to shout out Anya Taylor-Joy. I like Anya for Queen's Gambit.
I clapped for you on that.
I was so happy for her.
And Jason Sudeikis won too.
Love him. He deserved it.
Hell yeah, he did.
He was trending. He deserves it.
Who else? There's that girl for the Billie Holiday movie. She won Best Actress over Viola Davis.
Andra Day?
Yeah, she won Best Actress over Viola Davis, Frances McDormand, and Carey Mulligan. Right?
And Vanessa Kirby from Pieces of Woman, which is apparently a gut-wrenching performance. Yeah, I love Andra Day, the singer. I love Billie Holiday. I have not seen this movie or heard about this story. But yeah, I'm that makes me super interested and super excited for Andra Day. That's incredible. But
Yeah, no,
that's
it's
surprising that
pretty,
she beat Viola Davis
yeah.
and Frances, who is well, Frances might win an Oscar. We'll see. I've never seen Nomadland, but we'll see.
From the 15 minutes that I saw, she's probably going to win it. But who knows? I think that Viola Davis might nab it. Yeah, overall it was whatever. I don't think because usually with Golden Globes it makes you think like, okay, how are they going to do the Oscars? Like how is this going to affect
It's an
that?
Oscar teaser thing where like,
Mhm.
oh, it's like a fantasy Oscars.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, that's how it's treated. That's
So
my
this is what we're
coworker.
working with. This is our draft. The number
Yeah,
one pick. Okay, let's
yeah.
our roster of Oscar picks now.
That's what my coworker Tim said. He was like, "Dude, you're acting like this is like fantasy football." And I was like, "Dude, Oscars really is my Super Bowl."
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make my bracket this week from this
Yeah.
from this.
Yeah.
Because the nominations come out pretty soon.
Yeah, no, I'm curious about the Andrea. Am I saying her name right? Is there
Andra
Andrea
Day.
Day? Andrea Day?
Andra.
Yeah, no, she I'm curious if she's gonna get nominated. And I'm curious how that performance really is, because when I saw the trailer and I read the reviews, I was like, okay, this looks like it's nothing. It's gonna be nothing special. I love Billie Holiday though.
And I love Andra Day. So she's a singer.
What songs have she done? I don't think I've heard.
She's
Sing a song, Elijah.
I would suggest looking her up. She's really very good.
Fine, don't sing.
Cetus Lapidus, Justin.
Zetus Lapidus.
I want to learn how to use major a lot. I want to use so we rewatched Zenon Girl of the 21st Century. My goodness, this movie takes place, if you don't know, this is a spin-off of Blade Runner 2049 prequel. It's Zenon Girl of the 21st Century. It's Disney Channel original movie from 1999 that takes place in the year 2049. It's very good. I enjoyed it so much. Right from the beginning, it said 2049. I'm like, oh my God. Ridley Scott directed this.
I didn't even connect that. That's hysterical. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Dude, no, I have so many. I loved this movie. It's not a good movie in any way, shape, or form, but it's just it's so entertaining, and every single moment.
It's so good. I disagree with you.
We have Little Raven Simone, which is just absolutely adorable. Like, there's something about Little Raven Simone that you just like want to just hug her, just be like, oh my God, you're just adorable. But her hairstyle, like the hairstyles, the costumes, just the way that they do space in general.
It makes me excited. It makes me excited. It's the future I want.
It really is, because honestly, really interesting choices that they made with the future on Earth. Which, guess what? Nothing's changed.
It's 1999 and on Earth, 2049 in space.
Clear. That's honestly, when me and my friend we were watching it, that's what we were thinking. We were like, is it like a different year in space? And then it's 1999 and on Earth, because everyone's 90s up down there. And it's like it's obvious because like they spent all the budget on the aerial shots for the space station and all the space stuff, and then once they got to Earth, they were just like, let's just throw a laptop in there,
I liked how they didn't highlight advanced technology. It was just kind of the like that architecture was really, really quirky. When I was watching, I was like, oh, because I didn't remember this movie at all when I was watching.
Yeah, same.
And then I like saw the windows, and I was like, I distinctly remember those like oval windows. I remember that. I was like, those are interesting. Those are weird shades.
The only thing I remembered from Zenon, the only thing I remember was the lead singer, the dude with the spiked hair. But
I growing up, I thought that was like Ricky Martin or a real pop star.
I thought
because I remember
too.
it was always in the background, and then I watched it, and then when he like came on screen, I'm like, isn't he like a really famous pop star at the time? They're like, no, they just put him in this one movie, and I was like, what? You mean he didn't have like albums and stuff, and he wasn't like a real performer? And it blew my mind. Like, I literally thought it was like Ricky Martin or someone like that, like a famous singer.
I did too. I thought it was Billy Joel for some reason.
Green Day. It's like, oh my God.
Maybe it's because of the hair. We were manipulated by the hair.
And it's
like,
his singing. It sounded. I was like, that's Ricky Martin. I thought that. Like that's the one person who I thought it was this whole most of this time.
I just love at the end, like the entire movie. It's built up that this guy, the lead singer, is like the best musician of all time. And then we get to the musical performance, and it is the lamest.
I mean, hey, everyone's digging it. That all that music still resonates with so many people. Zoom.
Oh yeah,
that gets stuck in your head. It's crazy.
Oh fuck yeah,
it's so wild. But like when they first announced the concert on the ship, they're like, not virtually, in person. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be the future. They're gonna be announcing concerts like this where like it's not virtual anymore. And I was like, this is resonating hard with quarantine, because everything's virtual there in the future. They're like have the virtual teachers, virtual like
it really
does
it's
virtual because they're in space. That's why it's all virtual and everything's happening on Earth, I think. So, but it's like all that virtual stuff in the future was like, oh wow, this is unnervingly getting accurate. But we still have a good 20 years.
Oh wow, Elijah, are you ready for some tea, buddy?
What?
So Zenon Girl, the 21st Century, the movie, was a failed pilot for a proposed television series. So that means that this was supposed to be a pilot or an entire series, and it failed. So they were like, fuck it, we're gonna jam pack all these episodes on top of each other.
They edited it into wow.
That makes a lot of sense though, kind of, because the parts like when it goes to like space to Earth, the tone changes, like everything changes. Like it's like it feels like two completely different movies. It's such a nostalgia trip and a half. Like the entire time I was watching it, I was like, oh, that's where I would say that.
Do you know what Zetus Lapidus means?
I think it just means, oh fuck, holy shit.
Well, yes, but the way they got it is what's it called? Cetus is apparently like a huge constellation, and I think Lapidus is like one of Saturn's moons.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Like space terms put together, two space terms put together. So it's like, yeah, it's like a swear word.
So that means the writer just read one, like they read like half of a science textbook, and they're like, you know what, fuck it, Zetus, Lapidus.
There. Yeah, exactly.
I love how she says major on everything. Like she'd be like depression major, depression minor.
I would be so like, I was trying to think that way where I could form a sentence like that, and it's really hard.
Yeah, like, I know, dude.
To figure out the context of the act. I wish I took English in 2049 because that sounds fun.
You know what I said? I don't have my notes with me, but I just remembered. I was like, this feels like the world that Bill and Ted live in.
Yeah, that eventually will grow into.
Yeah, because especially like the way that they talk to each other, and like like how rock music is handled and everything. It's like this is Bill and Ted's fucking future.
That protozoa doll is so scary looking. It stands out. It's like super long and cheap looking. I was like, that looks like a voodoo doll. It looks like she made it herself. But
dude, let's talk about the 1999 effects too. Like them doing those aerial shots of the space station.
Blown away. I was like, am I watching Gravity right now? Where's Sandy B?
No, dude, you're watching Blade Runner 2049.
That's the prequel before. Did you know that the director of this movie made Steel with Shaq? And a bunch of other stuff, but that was what stood out to me. And the writer has made a lot of stuff like Land Before Time, Smart House. What did you know LeVar Burton directed Smart House from Rainbow?
Yes, I did. Yeah, no, that's the next. I feel like that's the next one we should definitely do. Yeah, LeVar Burton reading Rainbow.
I want to do this next one at some point because the writer of Zenon also wrote Phantom of the Megaplex and Cowbells, which was his last like DCOM movie.
Oh, Cowbells.
That was the later ones. That was when I was starting to drift away from Disney.
Yeah, I remember Cowbells being released after the world premiere of Hannah Montana.
Trying to get that those country viewers.
Oh yeah.
Phantom of the Megaplex though is one of my favorite films, and he still is. Like there's this Mickey I think it's Mickey Rooney, right? He's in it. He has this monologue in it that's one of my favorite monologues of all time. Do you recognize the guy from Zenon, the guy who plays Gregory Smith? What else do you recognize him from? I like him from Small Soldiers.
Yeah, he is so creepy in this.
But he shot Small Soldiers a year before, and then he made this one. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I thought he looked older in Small Soldiers.
Yeah, Small Soldiers came out a year before Zenon.
Interesting.
They probably shot him
yeah,
around the same time though, maybe.
his fate, like he would like look at Zenon and like just be like,
The director was really visual. Like even with the older villain antagonist, I was creeped out because they would linger on the shots of him like walking past her and winking, and it's all in slow motion. I'm like, this is an old man winking at this girl, and they're really,
yeah.
really soaking it in, and I hated it.
And I hated it.
The directing though was pretty good because I was like, I get it, this guy's bad. And then the other guy was like, with Greg, I'm like, oh, I get it, he's interested. Because you had to really hold on those moments for kids, I guess. But like, yeah, there's a lot of directing.
Into Stuart Pankin too, who was also in Honey We Shrunk Ourselves.
Yeah, I wrote his name down and I was like, this guy, because I know him from Arachnophobia too.
Yeah, Arachnophobia. Yeah, he's in a lot of shit.
I just recognize that face and his tones.
I love how Raven Simone's name in this is Nebula Wade.
Dude, at the end of the movie, when the credits started rolling, it has suggestions. It was Zenon the sequel, and it shows Nebula Wade, and I'm like, that's so not Raven.
Yeah,
they recast her. And that's why I was like, I'm upset. But then I looked it up. Spoilers. Raven Simone comes back for the third one.
Oh, she does, huh?
Why? As the same character, Nebula Wade. Why?
Oh, wow. That's a fuckaroo.
Was Zenon 2 successful enough to make Raven be like, I should have done that?
I'm pretty sure that Raven was doing, but by the time the sequel, like she was doing her own shit, like the TV show That's So Raven and Cheetah Girls. Like,
yeah, Kirsten Storms actually ended up being a guest star in That's So Raven later on.
Yeah, no, Kirsten's, dude, honestly, like she really holds the movie. Like she
you can tell she's like laughing a lot in shots where
she's having a great time. Oh my god, like
she's still acting, dude. She's been on General Hospital from 2005 to now. She's still in General Hospital, which is cool. And I also found out she was Bonnie from Kim Possible.
No, she's been around. She's been around for a
more
little
of
bit.
my childhood than I thought.
She looks good too. Like she doesn't look like she's.
Yeah, I just watched this reunion thing with Gregory Smith and Kirsten Storms and the guy who played Protozoa. People magazine did like a reunion interview with him, and it was so funny. Gregory Smith looks pretty different. Well, he looks kind of I wouldn't say he's a teen heartthrob anymore. But I would like to see him in more stuff because he was cool. Because I'm watching this other show, Everwood, which just got put on HBO. Is Chris Pratt's first show. He's the main son in it. Gregory Smith.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought Zenon was like, this is a perfect way to start this like DCOM revisited thing, because there are so many good DCOMs, but there's only some that'll really like still hit me like as if I'm still a kid and I'm watching it as a kid. And Zenon, like the entire time I was watching, I was like, I remember being in my room in Vegas next to my brother, having these two shitty twin beds, small ass little box TV, big ass remote that's bigger than our faces.
Yeah.
And turning it down, like, like making sure our mom isn't awake, because it was one of those movies that would like be on at like 3 a.m. Like, remember those?
Yeah.
Those random ass.
I knew about this movie because I grew up with 3 older sisters, so they all would watch it all the time. That's why I heard this song so much. That's why I thought it was like a real artist, because they would play that song, sing it.
So, how would you rate Zenon Girl: The 21st Century?
I'll give it 2 different ratings. I'll give it the nostalgia rating, and then I'll give it the rating of an adult.
I like that.
For my adults, it's kind of hard to differentiate them with this one specifically for nostalgia and adult, but adult, I'll give it maybe a 3.8 out of 5, because it's one I would show my kids when I have kids. It's because it's goofy and it'll be closer to that year. It's kind of like looking at it like Back to the Future type way. Nostalgia value, I would probably give it like probably a 4.6 or something, or 4.7, because it's just like the era is still definitely seen, even though it's the future, but it's like it's so distinct of late 90s. It's like you feel those, like they have the dial pads are all super analog, like everything's just not advanced at all, and you see that and that's probably what I would say. It's 4.6. For nostalgia.
Yeah, my nostalgia rating would be 4 out of 5, like for everything you just said, just because it's just one of those movies that when I was watching it, I was like literally transported right back into my childhood bedroom. But my adult rating though, I would have to get it 2 out of 5. Like it's not a good movie, but
the bad guys, his what he wants to do is evil. He wants to crash a whole space station for insurance.
Yeah, he wants to kill millions and millions of people for insurance.
That's wild. That's why I'm like, that's actually super dark.
It is, but I wish that there was a scene where he went like full on, like, even though like that's pretty evil, but I thought there was gonna be a scene where he like full on like tries to like kill little Zenon.
Yeah,
like,
some scene where they have a standoff.
Yeah, but there isn't really a standoff. It's just kind of, she just goes into space, she stops it, and then the band shows up, and then it's over.
Yeah, I love how they worked in with the gravity and stuff, and her dealing with gravity. I like that element a lot.
I like that too. Yeah,
like the pool, she almost drowns because she's like, I can swim in space, but that's way different, obviously. And everything about the space stuff they had, like, yeah, we only eat clean food. Like, it would have been a good pilot of like this girl. She's basically an alien coming to Earth, but I don't know what the sequels are. I haven't seen them.
Oh yeah, no, I we should definitely revisit those soon.
Do you want to assign any homework? I don't know. I was gonna give you Small Soldiers if you had never seen it for homework.
Oh no, of course I've seen Small Soldiers.
That's the hard part about me. Like the homework is like I have to stump you on a film you haven't seen. It's gonna be easy for me because I haven't seen a lot of films.
I think my homework should be getting a fucking light so I don't look like Donald Trump's love child over here.
Orange, very orange. Yeah,
I know, fucking super orange. It's so annoying.
Try putting like a little pillowcase or something over it.
Yeah, and I'll try to figure something out.
I'll figure it out
for the next run.
Do you have the webcam light on?
Is there a light on here?
Yeah, you twist the outside of it and it turns white.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, you didn't have that on?
That changes everything right there.
Yeah,
maybe we should just go straight into Phantom of the Megaplex.
I would be down to watch that one again. I haven't seen it in probably like 7 years. 7 years, 3 days, and 12 hours.
Yeah. Let's just go straight into that because I feel like we should do this DCOM stuff until you and I like really are like, all right, no more. We can't do this. Who do you think is going to be the first one to say no more DCOMs? Is going to be Justin or Elijah?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I don't know who will last longer. I kind of want to watch quite a few now. You open Pandora's box.
Oh yeah. No. This is once you start, it's hard to stop. When I was doing the October ones, like I said, like it was hard to stop, but then there was a limit. Like I forgot what the last one I watched. I think it was like My Mom's Got a Date with the Vampire, and I don't even think I posted my review for it because I was just so like, I can't do this anymore. Yeah,
that one was. I remember that one. Oh man, there's so many. I'm gonna be honest. I've never seen any of the Halloween towns, so Halloween is gonna be a fun time. I want to wait till Halloween time, like around that time though. But I've never seen them. I was not a huge Halloween person. Like I just watched Hocus Pocus like 2 Halloweens ago, I think. Not last Halloween, it was like 2 Halloweens ago. Was it last Halloween? No, it wasn't last Halloween. It was 2 Halloweens ago. Yeah. Speechless. I've never seen any of them. I wasn't big on Halloween growing up until I got to like high school. I was like, oh, Halloween's really fun. But I was just never really did anything for that. I'm not a candy fan. I don't know.
The first one, like, you know what you should actually never mind. No, you should just watch them. But after you're done watching them, you should go watch my YouTube.
I'm gonna watch all of your reviews after I watch them.
Because there's this attitude shift. Like the first Halloween time, I'm like, yeah, here we are doing Disney Channel original movies. And the second one, I'm like, wow, okay, that was not as good as I thought it was. The third one, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Is this
you look back, it's just a progression of insanity for you. You're just like darker eyes. You're like, today I watched Phantom of the Megaplex for the second time.
It legit is. It legitimately is. I forget what the last one I did, but the last one I was like, my voice went from
hello everybody, my name is Justin Adams.
Hello everybody, my name is Justin Adams, and welcome to Jay's Days where we're doing this. Like, you can barely hear what I'm saying because I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about anything anymore. I can't believe I'm still doing this shit. Why am I doing this to myself?
Now we're gonna do it again.
Yeah, no, next one, let's do Phantom of the Megaplex. Next DCOM revisited. Yeah, this one, like I don't think is as popular. I don't think a lot of people know about Phantom of the Megaplex compared to like Zenon and High School Musical and stuff.
It didn't have that big. I don't know if it had that huge cult of a following. Definitely not compared to Zenon. Like Megaplex, I think, slipped under. A lot happens in that.
Someone was commenting on our page too, she was saying Pixel Perfect, dude. That movie, because her and I, when we were because we were like talking about it on Instagram, and the song do you know my head, do you notice me, we're like, dude, that song's a fucking bop, man. I love that song. That song was like genuinely good. All right, yeah, no, let's start with Phantom of the Megaplex, because I like us going to the obscure Disney Channel movies. Like,
and I'm very excited.
I don't want to go to High School Musical territory and stuff, because that's obvious.
That's not for another few years.
Yeah, that's when we like run out of ideas. But yeah, no, I think we should go Phantom of the Megaplex, and then Pixel Perfect should definitely be next, because that was requested.
That was a good suggestion.
It's a good one.
I'm excited to revisit Mickey Rooney's monologue in Phantom of the Megaplex. You guys will probably know which monologue I'm talking about when you see it. You'll be like, oh, this is probably the monologue. I'm excited to revisit it now next week. Phantom of the Megaplex. That's all the news we have for History of Popcorn.
Oh yeah.
You have anything going on? Don't you have a comedy show coming up?
I do have a comedy show coming up in Grants Pass, Oregon on the 14th of this month.
Cool.
It's going to be at the Copper Mug. It's going to be me and a few other knuckleheads. Freeway Farrell, Ty Boyce, other people. If you're in Grants Pass or in the Grants Pass area, then yeah, you should definitely check it out. I don't think it's a paid show. I think you can just it's an outdoor show, so I think you can just walk in, grab a drink, then have a seat outside and blah blah. Wear your masks, don't be an asshole, and yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, a comedy show that's in 2 weeks. Yeah, 14th. You said.
I'm getting how to work for it. Thanks, Pam.
Watch Phantom of the Megaplex. Follow us on everything social media. Thanks. Yeah, that's how we can end it. Thank you for listening to History of Popcorn once again. We'll see you next week with Phantom of the Megaplex and so much more.
Hell yeah. Speaking of people not aging well, just all the Kevin Bacon, the Golden Globes. Holy shit.